Og nu til aftenens absolutte højdepunkt. Hendes nye plade hedder White Chalk, og den udkommer den 24. september. Vi er meget, meget glade over det her. Helt eksklusivt er det PJ Harvey direkte i LIGA-studiet.
All those places where I recall the memories that grip me and pin me down. I go to these places pretending to think. I can think of nothing but anticipate. Somehow the spectacle finds me there, that by some miracle you'd be aware. I'd risen this morning determined to break the spell of my longing not to think. I freed myself from my family, I freed myself from work, I freed myself, and remained alone. And in my thinking, steal you away, though you never wanted me anyway.
How would you describe the White Chalk album?
It baffles me, it still confuses me, and I think that's why I still find it exciting, because I very rarely play a record when I finished it. Once the record's done, I've already moved on, and I'm ready to start again, but this record I'm still listening to, and it still confuses me, because to me it's sort of, it sounds like it doesn't belong in this world, really. It sounds like it's in some different world between up there and down here, and it's in a different stratosphere or something. And I really like listening to it, because I don't understand it, and I feel like I get transported into this other universe.
That must be a really great feeling, to create something that you didn't really create, that just came out of you, and still you created it anyway.
Yeah. I feel like I can listen to it, and it feels like nothing to do with me. It feels like something over there. You know, I just look at it and feel confused. But that's a nice feeling. I don't feel attached to it, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy listening to it.
On your other albums, you've played a lot of guitars, but this album is based upon you playing the piano. Why did you choose to do that?
Well, I think with every album I try and find new ground, not repeat myself, and because that just doesn't interest me. That's nothing about growing as an artist or a person, I think. I think it's very important to keep challenging yourself and putting yourself in territory that's unknown. And it was more circumstantial, really. I acquired a piano because somebody was selling one, said did I want it, and I had room in my house, And that's how it began, because I'd never actually owned a piano before. And so I avoided it for a long time because it seemed very frightening. I just walked past it all the time, and finally got the courage to sort of go and begin to play it. And it just opened up this whole world because I knew nothing about it. And therefore, you can only respond in a very emotional way, because I couldn't respond in an intellectual way or a music theory way, because I knew nothing about how to play it. So I think that was very fortunate, really, and that got me excited about trying out playing lots of instruments I don't know how to play, because it forces you to think in a very childlike way.
On this album, when you use the piano so much, did you sometimes miss to just go and grab your guitar?
I can't say that I've missed the guitar yet. I might well do, but right now I've just been thriving on an instrument I know nothing about, and in the same way as the record I don't understand the piano or the other things I'm playing, like the harps, and because I don't understand them, they're so beautiful to me. There's this spellbinding to me, that the incredible sound that I know nothing about. I've played guitar for so many years, and it's very easy to fall into set patterns. Again, what I was saying about not wanting to use the same tools or tricks to write a song, it's really hard for me to not do that if I'm on the guitar, because it's so automatic to me. And I tried many ways on the guitar. For instance, I'd tune the strings into tunings I didn't know where I was, so it would all have to be by ear, but I still, just the feel of wooden strings in that way was not inspiring me.
On every album, you always kind of redefine yourself. But how did you find the inspiration to do this album?
Well, primarily, it really was knowing what I didn't want to do. I didn't know where it was going to lead, but I knew what I didn't want to do. I knew I didn't want to resort to what I would call my familiar tools for songwriting and recording. And by that I mean ways in which I know I can make a song work. And when you've been writing songs for a long time, you know these tricks, tools, you know how to make a song work. Structurally, lyrically, melodically. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to feel frightened because I didn't know what I was doing, didn't know where I was going. And so I almost made a manifesto for myself of what I wasn't going to do. And that then slowly formed into what this record became. And I began to, through experimentation and trial and error, really, find out what worked and what didn't, as I began to sort of look for that way ahead.
Do you find it difficult to write songs, or do you feel that music just comes very easily to you?
I find it very hard to write songs, increasingly, I'd say. Probably because the more songs one's written, the more things there are to avoid. Well, for instance, speaking of myself, I don't particularly want to just cover the same ground or write the same song that I've written 5 years ago. It's just not interesting to me. So it becomes harder. And for this record, for instance, I wrote many songs, 50 or 60 songs it was, to find this album. And all of those others I rejected in some way or other, for either sounding like something that reminded me of something I'd done before or something I'd heard somebody else do. And I think also I feel more and more that there's so much music in the world, there's so much art in the world, there's so many films in the world, that if you're going to contribute to that overflowing pot, then it's got to be something worthwhile. And worthwhile to me means something that's exciting because it's new, and you have to rearrange the way you think about things and listen with different ears and feel excited and inspired. I mean, I can remember when I was younger, when I would see things for the first time, I felt utterly inspired and changed by them, whether it was a concert or an exhibition. Or I felt like my life changed and I went on this different pathway because of the way I'd been infected, and that seems to happen less and less. And I wonder, is that just me becoming older and more jaded, or is there less work out there that's doing that? And I think we're in a very different situation now than when I started, which was sort of 15 years ago. But there's been such an increase in methods and possibility of communication that there's so much of everything. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I'd like to think that it's a good thing, but I wonder if standards are going down. It feels like it, but then again, that might just be my own personal judgment as well, and maybe I'm not seeing things correctly. I don't know.
Maybe also because a lot of people really want to be in a band and play music, that maybe it comes from a different place than... I mean, what does it mean to you to create music?
Well, I never really even sit down and analyse what it means for me. It's so inherent in my being a human being on the planet that I don't even question it. It's like breathing. It's something that's just part of my body and my bones. I feel I'd be doing this whether anybody ever heard it or not. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't be fulfilling the point of me being on Earth. That's what it feels like. And I feel very lucky to feel that conviction about something. So for me, I mean, it's the same as breathing or speaking to you. It's just a very natural form of expression and communication.
Do you ever get scared that someday it will be difficult for you to write songs or keep on doing music?
Yes, I wonder. There's so many great songs in the world already, and some of those were written years ago, 40, 50, 60 years ago. I feel like if I can't add something that's really worthwhile to be made and be there, there's enough songs out there already for everyone. And yeah, it enters my head that there might be a point where I just don't feel I am contributing. I really couldn't tell you, because you just don't know what's going to happen one day to the next. I know it gets harder for me, and I have to seem to write a lot of material to find stuff that I do think is worthwhile. So I really don't know. But what I do know is that if I ever did feel that, I would probably not put out a record for as long as it took to get that many songs together for a record. And I still think in those sort of old-fashioned ways of a record as a A-side and a B-side and an LP, but a collection of songs. I've always liked, I see it like exhibiting an art show, really. I like that amount of songs in one exhibition. That's fine with me, and they sit well together. And if it takes 10 years to get what I think's worthwhile, then I'd wait. I just never want to just put things out for the sake of quantity, ever. I think I would kill part of my soul if I did that. I only ever want it to be because it's quality, really.
When you put out the Dry album in '92, it's still you very much when you hear the new album, but what is the difference between the person you were at that time, or the kind of music you made at that point, and then the way you make music today?
Well, I just think life, really. You're talking about 15 years, and the only difference being I've walked around in the world for 15 years more, and you can't help but change. And the way I change as a person is the way my music changes. They're not, you can't separate them. It's all the same thing.
On the album you have a song called The Devil, and it's not the first time you've written something about the devil.
Well, I was interested in, and I've experimented in the past with turning something which is such a myth or such a long-standing historical everyday part of our lives into a specific thing, item, person, or that you can talk to. I think I did it again with Dear Darkness on this record, where I'm addressing it as a person, and so I made the devil this person that I'm blaming for my insanity, you know. Or the character in the song is, you know, addressing this this element of themselves as being the insanity that they don't understand. And since time began, you know, there's this wrestle between good and evil, right and wrong, our desire to do evil deeds and yet being told we have to be good. And that wrestling, and I hear that whole wrestling through the whole record, really, this sort of friction. Something's not right. You've got great beauty in the sounds and the melodies and the music and these quite dark lyrics, and there's this sort of dichotomy, this wrestling, and I think that song sums it up as well, because it's musically quite uplifting, beautiful song, and then you hear this this torment of the character and what they're going through.
Today you came here to play all by yourself, but still when you listened to it, it sounded like you had a lot of instruments, and it sounded like a whole band. But how is it to go around and play on your own?
It's extremely different. At the moment I'm really enjoying it, I think because it's new, and also because it allows for the songs to be performed in an entirely different way. In some ways there's so much more scope and expression because there's so much more silence to fill, and obviously I'm in control of every sound that's made, so right now I'm really enjoying it, and it's something I've never really done before, which is always exciting for me, to do something that's new.
Just before, I was looking at these animals you have over there on your mic and all the stuff on the piano. What does all of that mean to you?
Well, because I'm playing on my own at the moment, and always performance for me is a terrifying experience. It's wonderful and exhilarating, but terrifying. And being that I was playing on my own, I knew that I wanted the live performance as well, because I've been playing shows, to be visually quite beautiful and quite interesting, because it's quite a lot for people to sit and look at one person for an hour or more, and I just wanted to make the whole thing look visually beautiful, and really they're just the things that I have in my house at home. They're the things I have on my piano. I'm at home, and I have them there because I really like them, and so I take them with me. They're my whole little travelling home with me, and it just makes me feel like I'm still in the environment where the songs ever came from in the first place, really. I mean, obviously I haven't got everything here, but these are just a few things that were easy to transport.